skaters, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. I am Coach Julia, and today we are going to be doing another US figure skating skills pattern. This one is a companion to what we learned last week. We are going to be doing backward power circles. So last week we did our forward power circles. This week we will be doing backward. Now, I want you to make sure you go check out last week's because they do go together. I'll post a link down below to last week's power circle tutorial. So in the US figure skating, both in the standard skating skills tests and the adult skating skills tests, they have these power circles. But even if you're not part of US figure skating, these are a really important drill to learn to work on strengthening your basic crossovers. You're going to work on power, you're going to work on having slow crossovers, having fast crossovers, having them both go both directions. So you want to work on this skill no matter where you are in the world. Let me show you what this is going to look like. So now you know what these power circles look like. Let's break it down. Once again, I'm going to be using the very center of the rink for this pattern. Now, the backward has a slight change from the forward. Most of it is the same pattern, but this one we have to get backward. So we're going to start with a 3-turn. I like to have my skaters start by going counterclockwise first. That means I'm going to be starting with my right foot in front. Okay, so I am 2.5, 3 little squares away from that blue dot. That blue dot indicates the very center of the rink, the center of this circle. And so we're going to start just to the side of it. I'd say about 2.5 squares over. For me, that's definitely beyond arm's length. All right, so that's our starting point. So our first circle, our first crossover, is going to make a complete circle coming around to just beside where I am now. Okay, so I don't want to come back to the very exact spot. We're creating like a snail shell that goes out. So my first crossover is going to end just to my right over here. Okay, so you can keep that in mind. So we're going to start with a left forward outside 3-turn. That's how we get backward on this pattern. So we're going to 3-turn. Now this brings us the 3-turn. I'm still before my line. It hasn't taken a full half circle to do my 3-turn, so I can do my crossover for about 3/4 of a circle. So in a way it's a little bit easier than forward. Forward you have to make a circle, do a complete one crossover for a circle. This one you have a 3-turn and a crossover, creating our first circle. So once I have finished, I'm going to reach out as far as I can go with my right foot. That is going to help me create power. So I'm doing less with my left foot. I'm reaching out with my right and then pulling that right under. Okay, so let me show you that full circle. So we're going to go 3-turn, reach as far as I can with my right, and cross under. And that brings me back to my line a few squares over from where I started. Now I'm going to have you doing a lot with your inside foot. The farther you can reach to create power pushing under on your crossover, you're going to get more power, you're going to be more steady, you aren't going to look like you're making lemons, your crossovers aren't going to bounce as much. So think about reaching out with your right foot and scooping it under like you're scooping a big scoop of ice cream. Okay, so we're going to go 3-turn, reach out with that right, push that right under. And there's your first circle and your first crossover. So we're a little farther than where we began. Now we're going to do crossover number 2, crossover number 3, and crossover number 4 is going to bring us out of our blue hockey circle. So 2 is still deep edges, slow cross. Reach, deep edges, slow cross. On 4 we go out of the circle. All right, so each crossover is getting a little shorter and a little faster. So let's look at those first 4 crossovers all together. We're going to go left forward outside 3, turn, reach with the right foot as wide as you can, push under and hold to the line. Reach 2, crossover. Reach 3, reach 4. All right, and now we've built some speed. We're outside. We finished 4. Again, close to the line where we started, just outside of our center circle. All right, so in 4 crossovers, we've done 1, 2, out of the circle, okay? So something I really want you to pay attention to while you're working on this is staying low with your body so your knees are continually down, all right? So you're gonna have a chance to straighten your legs, but you're always gonna have one knee bent. So when I'm reaching with this leg, with my right, my left is still bent. And then when I push under, I'm straight again. So I'm going straight, straight. I'm taking turns, straight, straight. You can see one leg is always bent and the other leg is straight. Going straight in one, bend the other, straight in one, bend the other. That helps us stay low with our crossovers, okay? So that's one thing I want you to think about. Always going alternating. Straight in one, bend the other, straight in one, bend the other. That'll help you stay low. I also want you to think about your posture. We naturally lean forward a bit when we do our crossovers, but I don't want you looking like you're folded in half. So do your very best to keep your shoulders upright. We will lean forward, so that's okay. We just want to keep that back really strong. So if you're doing your crossovers and your back is limp, you're going to be flopping around in your upper body, and that doesn't give the look of command, control, power that we want in this pattern. So think about your back being very strong, those muscles between your shoulder blades contracting together, so you have a really controlled upper body. You also want to keep your hands from moving very much. So think about if you had a glass of water on each hand and you did your crossovers trying not to let that water spill, okay? To do that, you have to have really good control in your back and control in your upper body. So let's do it from the beginning, and we're gonna add on the last couple crossovers. So with that good posture, good strong hands, 3 turn, crossover 1, hold, crossover 2, crossover 3, a little faster, crossover 4, a little faster, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, push. So once we've done our first 4, we're gonna make one more half circle, powering around as fast as we can. We do want a gradual increase, but by the end, you need to have those feet moving as quickly as you possibly can, okay? So we're gonna do approximately 6, you could do 8, so we wanna have a total of 10 to 12 crossovers. It's gonna depend a little bit on how long your legs are, how quickly you can move your feet, that kind of thing. But, so we finished 4, we're gonna go around a half circle, and then a teensy bit farther so that we can end with an extension, a back extension going towards the corner, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're gonna switch to our right foot and do a back extension, okay? So your reaching foot with all of those crossovers is gonna be your right foot. When you're done with your final crossover, your back, your shoulders should be facing the corner, all right? So you can kind of learn when you're diagonal, okay? You can see this little red line here at our rink that helps us know where our corners are. So you'll know you're done with your 6 to 8 crossovers when your back is facing that line. After your final crossover, you're gonna switch to your right foot. You're gonna lift up your left, strong back, and you're gonna do an extension. This is like a checkout position. If you've checked out of jumps and spins, this is basically a checkout position. It is not a spiral where you're tipping your hips forward and leaning over. You wanna have good posture. We also don't want it curving back to where we started. So we want it to be a nice diagonal towards the wall, okay? We don't want it dipping inside towards the wrong wall, okay? So try to go straight back in a checkout position towards the wall. Then you can step forward and T-stop, all right? And that is your complete counterclockwise pattern for your backward power circles. So now let's look at these going clockwise. It's going to be the same pattern, but it's really helpful sometimes to see it going both ways when you're learning. And since you need to learn it going both ways, I'm going to show you. We're now going to the other side of our line. So I started over here. Now I'm switching. I'm still going to start facing the same direction. If I swap and I face the opposite direction, I'm just going to do the same side twice. So make sure you're still facing the same direction when you start with your first 3 turns. So now I'm going to do a right forward outside 3 turn. Okay, 3 turn. Now I'm going to reach really wide with my left leg and push it under and hold. Okay, that's crossover 1. Here's 2, 3, 4 again is going to go out of our circle. Then we're going to increase our speed as much as we possibly can. And then we're going to extend out on the left leg. And then T-stop. So we're taking everything and reversing it. Now, if this is your harder side, practice it extra. You don't want the judges to see any difference in power, in speed, in control, any of that. In your T-stops, we want them to look the same. You might inside be dying, like, oh my gosh, this side is so much harder. But don't let the judges see that with the quality of your skating. All right, skaters, there you have the backward power circle pattern that accompanies that forward one we did last week. Make sure you're practicing both forward and backward, and both clockwise and counterclockwise, so you are strong in all of those basic skills. And if you're working on those for your USFS tests, you'll need those both ways anyway. If you enjoyed this video, please do give us that thumbs up. And as always, I look forward to reading all your comments in that section down below. If you haven't done so yet, then hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can see all my videos when they come out. Happy skating, and I'll see you next time.